Hi, welcome to Rock Talk, Round Rock ISD's weekly roundtable discussion show where we talk about topics for parents to keep you informed. I'm Corey Ryan, our Executive Director of Communications and Community Relations, and today we're going to talk about career and technical student organizations with two of our outstanding professionals from our CTE program, Ms. Peggy Mitcha and the Director of CTE, Sherry Bonds. Thanks for joining us on Rock Talk.
Thanks for having us, Corey.
So first, could we start off by just talking about what is a career and technical student organization? Sherry, you want to go ahead and take that one?
Absolutely. So career and technical student organizations, or CTSOs as they're commonly called, are organizations that are directly linked to the curriculum that they pertain to. And so depending on the student and what cluster that they're in, they have an opportunity to join a CTSO that directly relates. And so they take that learning that they're doing inside of their classroom and apply it outside. So it's an extracurricular club, but really with a co-curricular slant.
And Peggy, what are the advantages of having these CTSOs in alignment with the academies and the things that we have going on in the learning in our high schools?
One of the big advantages is again, that curricular piece that Sherry mentioned, because it helps kids see the connection. So while they're learning some of these things in the classroom, then when they go to their different club events or their conventions or their competitions, they're applying some of the things they learned in their classrooms. Along with that, they're adding additional pieces, many soft skill competitions involved with many of our clubs and so forth, that helps them kind of stand out ahead of the crowd.
So Peggy, when we talk about these CTSO organizations, these groups that students run, what are some of the eligibility requirements for a student to get involved in these outside organizations that go beyond the classroom instruction?
So it depends on the clubs. For some of them, anybody can join if they have an interest. For some of our clubs, students have to be enrolled in those particular classes. FFA is a good example. Students have to be enrolled in an agriculture class in order to be eligible to join the club. But other than that, the only other eligibility issue is the same as other UIL events, in that students have to be passing all of their classes in order to be able to compete.
So oftentimes students have to be academically active in the aligned curriculum or the aligned coursework that goes with the club, and then also for competitions they have to be academically eligible, just like in choir or band or in athletics.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Sherry, are there costs? Oftentimes parents, when things are going above and beyond the classroom, a lot of the concern is with costs and extra things that parents have to be cognizant of. Are there costs to any of these, and how does the district work or the schools work with kids?
Sure, I'm happy to answer that question. So each club sets their own fee schedule, and so part of that goes to pay for local dues for that chapter at the high school level, but then also to pay district, state, national dues. You know, if you want to join DECA, you're going to become a member of the National DECA organization or any other organization that you might select. So the local chapters set their dues to cover those expenses. Of course, they'll work with any student that might have a hardship or might need some assistance in having to make that work. But as far as competitions, those are all handled within the clubs. CTE actually supports the first level of competition for our different approved CTSOs, and so we pay entry fees for competitions, and then beyond that we're fortunate that the district helps out with beyond district student travel for some of those costs. But campuses really do as much as they can do to work with the students through fundraising and through different events to make sure that if a student has an interest in competing, that they'll meet them where they need to be so they can participate.
So one of the components of these CTSOs oftentimes are that team kind of competition component. Can you kind of speak to what being a part of a team in these different organizations means for these students and adding relevancy to what they're doing?
Absolutely. So it gives the kids that opportunity to find that small group feeling inside of, you know, our high schools. They select their academies, then they select their program of study, and then hopefully they select their CTSO that they want to be a part of. So within that, they join a team. Some events might be a 2-member team, some might be 4, 6. It could expand depending on what the event is. And so it's really a great time for kids to be able to find their small niche, find their group, and just like anything else, just like sports or UIL, academics, choir, band, they create that camaraderie within each other, and they help support each other throughout the competition season. And so some competitions are fall, some are spring, some groups compete all year in their different events. It just really depends, but they do find their group and they have a great time.
Peggy, oftentimes when parents send their kids off to high school, they're really, and we want our kids to have an end goal in mind, and a lot of times with our kids, the end goal is college. Mm-hmm. What do the CTO opportunities do to help align a student in high school with their end goal and going to college and then the career beyond college?
That's a great question. Part of it, again, is to see that relevance in what speaks to the student and what they enjoy and perhaps what they don't enjoy, so that we're helping them make those decisions before they go to college. Along with that, they get a lot of confidence along the way. Again, they master some amazing soft skills. We had a competition here a few weeks ago with 800 DECA students. DECA is a business and marketing organization. And the students were all dressed in suits and ties and everything. And there was the whole professional demeanor and public speaking and so forth. So kids gain those types of skills. Some of our clubs have scholarship programs available, either through the clubs or through their booster clubs that support them. And then, again, just awareness, because some of the colleges are at and represented at some of these state and national competitions that they go to, so the kids get to learn about them there as well.
So Sherry, it's important to note, because they're in teams and they're competing, the CTSO organizations give kids the opportunities to travel, and sometimes the students might not have had that opportunity to travel. Can you speak to some of the examples of the regional and the national levels of where these kids can go and compete as part of their involvement in CTSO?
Absolutely. So the majority of our groups all start off with a local or a district level of competition, and then they expand. A wide variety of our students have the opportunity to compete at the state level, some at the national and international. As far as the state, several events are held at local community colleges, universities. We have lots of students that travel to Texas A&M or Texas State for different events and across the state. But then we also have students that will qualify for national competitions to Nashville, to Florida, and California for Disneyland and Disney World. You know, we've had kids that go to amazing places that wouldn't have this opportunity except for the fact that they've got their CTSO, their amazing advisors, campus administration that really support them. And so they do get to go above and beyond, and we're really proud of all the success our students have had.
What's a good resource for parents and students where they can either seek an individual out at a high school campus or a specific resource, maybe a website, where they can get information on CTE programs and the CTSOs that align with those?
Absolutely. So our district CTE website off of the roundrockisd.org site actually lists the approved CTSOs by the state on our site. From there, you can link to our high school pages and find the clubs listed on each high school. Our CTE Academy specialists can also be a very good resource at each high school. By contacting them, a parent can ask what CTSOs are involved and who the advisors might be. Those can change from time to time, from year to year, I should say. And so making sure that that CTE Academy specialist on the campus has the most up-to-date information to help out parents.
Awesome. And before we wrap up, and we'll conclude with some closing thoughts from you two in advising parents on what they can do to better prepare their students and support their students in the CTSOs. I want to thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of Rock Talk. Please check roundrockisd.org/Rock Talk or visit our YouTube channel to find all of our episodes. We have some great resources for parents across our pre-K through 12 spectrum here at Round Rock ISD to kind of get some in-depth information on some of these topics. Just a little wrap up, Peggy, what's one last thing that you think that you would like to share with parents in terms of CTSOs?
If parents hesitate at all, I would ask them to call one of us or even talk to some of their kids' friends that are involved, and I think they would quickly realize what a wonderful opportunity this is for our kids. I was involved in it as a teacher but also as a student many years ago, and it's one of my favorite memories from high school. And again, I learned a great deal that helped me even today in my professional career.
Jerry, one last thought?
Absolutely. I too was an advisor for one of our CTSOs here in the district for many years. The opportunity for leadership that the kids get, I think, is above and beyond the best resource. You know, they have the opportunity to win scholarships and different things, but building that leadership capacity within each individual student, they can get as involved in a club as they want, or just be involved to feel that camaraderie. But, you know, it's linked to the curriculum, but at the same time, it goes so above and beyond what the actual curricular piece is, and it's building that leadership within our kids. So I would just tell parents to support your child, you know, help them out, understand why joining a club, whatever it is that they choose to get involved with, but why a club can do so much for them beyond high school. I think that's the biggest takeaway from today.
Well, thank you so much for both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.